Namaste and good afternoon, everyone. On the behalf of the Hindu Temple Society of North America, Sri Mahavallabhaganapati Devasthanam, Flushing, New York, I, Vigneshwari Shivakumar, welcome our audience on YouTube and Facebook. Today, we celebrate the 73rd Republic Day of India, as well as honoring the three leaders of nonviolence, freedom, and equal rights Mahatma Gandhiji, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and Nelson Mandela. We begin today's program with a Ganesha Vandana, as it is always a tradition to start the program on an invocation to Lord Ganesha. Students of Ganesha Pathshala will now be singing the Ganesha Vandana. Thank you, Chirag, Harav Krishnan, Arnav, Sashank, Sumedha, Shiven, Shrikar, and Sai Vedika, and coordinator Shobha Nadik for the beautiful invocation. Now, we will have the singing of the American national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Jonita. Next, Siri and I will be singing the Indian national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद.
Thank you, Siri. Republic Day is the day on which the Constitution of India came to effect. It is the day when India became the sovereign democratic republic. After gaining independence from the British on August 15, 1947, the country removed the Government of India Act set by the British Raj. However, the country needed a new constitution that can unify the wide variety of cultural diversities and the big nation. That's when a committee of 7 members called the Drafting Committee, formed by Dr. Bhim Rao Ramji Ambedkar, penned down the Constitution of India. The Constitution took effect on January 26, 1950, which marked the day in which India became recognized as a republic. Not only is this a patriotic holiday, but also a cultural event in India, displaying might and strength. Schools organize many programs and children participate in many events such as parades, speeches, and art performances. This is also the day on which high honors such as Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan are declared. We will now be moving on to the patriotic songs put together by the Temple Youth Group. The main catalyst to unite people to fight for independence is the patriotic songs, written and composed by various freedom fighters. It's a tradition to sing patriotic songs during Independence Day and Republic Day events. Come, let's listen to some of the songs rendered by the Temple Youth members. Patriotism is contagious. Love is eternal. Namaste everyone. My name is Vigneshwari Shivakumar and I'll be singing Hum Honge Kamyab. होंगे कामयाब हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन हो मन में है विश्वास पूरा है विश्वास हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन आ, आ, होगी शांति चारों ओर होगी शांति चारों ओर होगी शांति चारों ओर एक दिन हो मन में है विश्वास पूरा है विश्वास होगी शांति चारों ओर एक दिन आ, हम चलेंगे साथ साथ डाल हाथों में हाथ हम चलेंगे साथ साथ एक दिन हो मन में है विश्वास पूरा है विश्वास हम चलेंगे साथ साथ एक दिन आ, नहीं डर किसी का आज नहीं भय किसी का आज नहीं डर किसी का आज एक दिन हो मन में है विश्वास पूरा है विश्वास नहीं डर किसी का आज एक दिन होंगे कामयाब हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन हो मन में है विश्वास पूरा है विश्वास हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन
Namaste all. My name is Shivani and I shall be playing Vande Mataram. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. On behalf of the Hindu Temple Society of North America, I would like to welcome a representative from Congresswoman Grace Meng's team. Grace Meng has been serving her fifth term in the United States House of Representatives and encompassing New York City. She's the first and only Asian American member of Congress from New York State and the first female Congress member from Queens since former vice presidential nominee Geraldine Ferraro. Welcome, Steve. I think we have some slight delays with this streaming, so we'll just go on to the next program item, bringing Vigneshwari back.
We will be continuing with the patriotic songs with Raghupati Raghava Rajaram.
Namaste everyone. My name is Pranati Bhatt. My name is Suruchi Kaur. And together we will be singing Raghupati Raghava Rajaram. Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, Patita Pavana Sitaram. Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, Patita Pavana Sitaram. Sundara Vigraha Megha Shyam, Ganga Tulasi Shalagram. Sundara Vigraha Megha Shyam, Ganga Tulasi Shalagram. Bhadragirishwara Sitaram, Bhagata Jana Priya Sitaram. Bhadragirishwara Sitaram, Bhagata Jana Priya Sitaram. Janaki Ramana Sitaram, Jaya Jaya Raghava Sitaram. Janaki Ramana Sitaram, Jaya Jaya Raghava Sitaram. Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, Patita Pavana Sitaram. Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, Patita Pavana Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Bhaja Pyare Tu Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Bhaja Pyare Tu Sitaram. Ishwar Allah Tero naam, sabko sanmati de Bhagavan. Ishwar Allah Tero naam, sabko sanmati de Bhagavan. Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, Patita Pavana Sitaram. Patita Pavana Sitaram. Patita Pavana Sitaram. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. On behalf of the Hindu Temple Society of North America, I would like to now welcome Senator John Liu, who's the New York State Senator and represents a broad area of Northeast Queens. He's chairperson of the Senate's Committee of the New York City Education and also serves on the committees of Budget and Revenue, Education, Finance, Higher Education, Rules, and Transportation. Welcome, Senator John Liu.
Hello, Dr. Uma and everybody at the Hindu Temple Society of North America. It's this time of the year once again where we gather together to celebrate Republic Day, a day where we honor not only India's history but world-renowned leaders who followed Mahatma Gandhi's footsteps. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we celebrated just a couple of weeks ago, and so many other world leaders. This is a proud day for all of us. And as we emerge and hopefully emerge completely from this 2-year-long COVID pandemic, We will see the strength that has shown how resilient our community is based on the very strong foundations of history, culture, roots. And it's just, what more can I say than to say that it's a good time to celebrate. 2022 is going to be the year where we get things back to not only normal, but even better than before. So thank you to the Hindu Temple Society for bringing the entire community together on this special occasion. And always good to see Dr. Uma and all of our friends at the Hindu Temple Society. Thank you so much.
All the best. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. You're always
Thank
good
you.
for us, and I know I can count on you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mysurkar and John Liu. And now we have Queensborough President Donovan Richards. Donovan Richards Jr. has been a lifelong resident of Southeast Queens, was elected as Borough President in November of 2020. He has been a steadfast advocate for criminal justice reform, most recently acting as chair of the Committee on Public Safety. As Queensborough President, Donovan is leading the efforts to revitalize Queensborough and make it one which works for all of its residents and workers. Welcome, President Donovan Richards.
So much, sister, and so great to see Dr. Uma. And I want to thank you for inviting me to this annual event. Dr. Uma, we appreciate you so much and your team at the Hindu Temple Society of North America. We salute you for the valuable work that you do to maintain the temple as an anchor of peace in our borough and city. Also want to acknowledge our esteemed dignitaries, elected officials, and faith leaders, and our community advocates and residents who are here today. India Republic Day marks the day when India's constitution came into being. As we all know, freedom is a constant struggle, and drawing up a constitution, a document of self-governance, is a significant achievement indeed. I truly appreciate that Dr. Uma invokes the names of three men of peace on this day. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as Senator Liu alluded to, Mahatma Gandhi, and Nelson Mandela. At a time when we are seeing incidents of bias, discrimination, and hate crimes locally and globally, and at a time when gun violence plagues American society, we need to return to the vision of these three leaders for inspiration and guidance. Here in Queens, we know that unity and solidarity are the only path forward. I was proud to have Dr. Uma speak at the Unity rally that I organized with Congressmember Grace Ming last year. Let us all continue to stand together, march together, educate each other, and advocate together until hatred and violence are truly a thing of the past. I appreciate knowing that India Republic Day has historical significance for our neighbors with origins in India. I thank you for sharing this occasion with us in D3 and for giving us all an opportunity to reflect upon the importance of concepts like freedom, independence, and nonviolence for all humankind. Thank you all, and it is great to see you, and happy 73rd Republic Day of India. God bless you all. Thank you for having me.
President Donovan Richards, appreciate you coming, and we always look forward to having you with us. We'd like to look forward to your visit to the temple also soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Uma.
We will be continuing with our patriotic songs with Maitreem Bhajata.
Namaste everyone. My name is Pranati Bhatt. I will be singing Maitreem Bhajata by Sri Chandrasekhar Saraswati Swamiji, which is a song for peace and harmony. क्रममाक्रमणम् त्यजत परेशा क्रममाक्रमणो मैत्रीं भजत अखिल जयत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिल जनको देवः सकल दयालु दाम्यता दत्ता दयदो जनता दाम्यता दत्ता दयदो जनता श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल मैत्रीं भजत अखिल जयत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिल Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Hindu Temple Society of North America, I would like to now welcome Senator Toby Stavesky. Toby Ann Stavesky has been the first woman from Queens County elected to the state Senate and the first woman to chair the Senate Committee on Higher Education. After working in the actuarial department, she's taught social studies in the New York City high schools. Welcome, Senator Toby.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a lovely performance. Sorry, I just caught the end of it. I'm here to celebrate, obviously, the ratification of your Constitution for Republic Day. But I'm also, I must say, I have been to so many of your remembrances, and in honoring the three figures, Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, and Nelson Mandela, you exemplify really the best of all three nations. And today, with all of the violence and hatred that seems to be coming from too many people, their words really are so appropriate, even more so today. So I thank you, Dr. Maisako, and all our friends at the Hindu Temple of North America for coming together in peace, because it's through peace that we will accomplish everything that we want to accomplish, not with guns, not with hatred, not with the rhetoric that we hear, not with bitterness, but with hope. And let us hope that we come together in person next year to celebrate the Republic Day. And I thank you all again for coming. And I must say one other thing, since Dr. Maisako mentioned it. I do chair the Committee on Higher Education. And the budget this year is going to be good. And education, I think, is one of the areas where we have to focus on education and on mental health issues so that we can overcome some of the problems that are facing us today. Our state budget in higher education does include a mental health aspect, but we have provided a lot of additional funding without tuition increases. And it's through that, I think, that we can come together again. Thank you very much.
Dr. Senator, appreciate you coming in and always lending. It's a great sense of source of strength for us, for our community, and we always look forward to being with us at all times. Thank you and all the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we would like to welcome Councilwoman Sandra. Sandra represents the 20th Council District, which includes Flushing. And she's worked as an attorney in non-profit defending survivors of domestic violence and advocating for their families. She later served in government on the municipal, state, and federal level, including most recently in office of the Congresswoman Grace Meng, where she assisted constituents with immigration, veterans affairs, and social security cases. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you. Hi, the Hindu Temple Society of North America. Thank you, Dr. Uma, for giving me an opportunity to say hi all of you today. I'm so happy to join all of you here for the 73rd Republic Day of India celebration. I also just want to let everybody know, if you don't know me, please feel free to always reach out to my office, which is at 137-2738 Avenue. If you have any issues or concerns of community, I always think, being a leader, which is, I'm beginning of stages of this, is always to outreach the community and to listen to your concerns. I will always take your concerns and, do my best with it. So I hope to, in the future, be able to come to the temple in person to meet all of you. Again, thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandra. Appreciate it. And we will be welcoming you. We'd like to see you at the temple and spend some time. We can discuss what's happening in the community. And that will be great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I would love to. I would love to. I know I have in the past been able to speak with you, but, in the future, I hope once, hopefully, this COVID situation gets better.
Yes.
I do want to, again, come and then to talk to everybody in the temple.
Yes, will do. Thank you.
Now, with great pleasure, we would like to welcome Varun Jeff, who's the Deputy Consul General. He represents our Consulate of India here. And we also, I would like to communicate that the Hindu Temple Society of also acknowledges that Consul General Randhir Jaiswal couldn't be here. But we do have Varun representing the Consul General today. Welcome, Varun.
Hi, a very good afternoon to everybody. My apologies due to some bandwidth issue at my end. I'm not able to join via video. So I'm taking this opportunity to join you all this afternoon through the audio mode. So please bear with me on that front. I am very delighted to join everyone this afternoon as India celebrates its 73rd Republic Day. All national days are special to us, but this year it is even more significant because this happens to be the 75th year of India's independence. And to this end, we have organized a lot of events. We have planned a series of programs and events as part of 75 years of India's independence. And we would urge you, especially the younger generation, to participate in those events. These events would continue till August of next year. As we join all of you this afternoon, we pay our respects to the great leaders who has shaped not only the Indian society or the nation of India, but the US, the wonderful Republic of the United States, the world together. And today also happens to be the Punya Tithi, the death anniversary of the father of nation of India, Mahatma Gandhi. We pay respects to him and we reflect on the thoughts on his teachings, and we remember his struggle, his sacrifice, not only for the nation, but for the humanity. Today also happens to be an occasion for us to pause and to remember the supreme sacrifice that great leaders and extraordinary men and women across the world who made for their countries, for their societies. And Gandhiji definitely stands tallest among them. He was an iconic figure of his generation. He belonged not only to India, but to the world at large. And Gandhiji was a great visionary who inspired many leaders, such as Martin Luther King Jr., whose birth anniversary we celebrated earlier this month. Also, Nelson Mandela from South Africa, just to name two. Martin Luther King Jr. perhaps was one of the most recognizable face, the great leader of the American civil rights movement. His I Have a Dream speech still motivates us, it still inspires us to have a more inclusive world, a society where there is no discrimination, where there is no differentiation of any kind, where everyone has an opportunity to dream, and not just to dream, but to be given a chance to achieve that dream. He also imbibed the essence of nonviolence that Mahatma Gandhi espoused. He used it, and he used, along with the civil disobedience, as a path which would get people their much deserved rights and, more importantly, the much deserved dignity. Similarly, Nelson Mandela, another great leader whom we remember, he also took inspiration from Gandhiji's lives and from his principles. He was particularly inspired by the Satyagraha campaign led by Gandhiji. It was a compelling act of passive protest against oppression, which later also inspired the formation of African National Congress in South Africa and strengthened Mandela's belief in shared humanity, the philosophy of Vasudev Kutumbakam that Mahatma Gandhi often spoke of. The world is one family. Gandhiji not only he did not try to influence or impose his ideas on people, not even those around him, but his life itself was an inspiration to everyone, and he truly led by example. He lived and he led with conviction and with the strength of his character. Gandhiji's philosophy of upholding the virtues of truth, that is satyagraha, peace, and ahimsa, that is non-violence, tolerance, and respect, these are very much relevant even today. In fact, his message on living with the nature is more pertinent today as sustainable development, as climate action, they become buzzwords in our daily conversation. Just to touch upon Mahatma Gandhi's diversified personality, he was somebody who walked long distances, he trained, he practiced in naturopathy, he had keen interest in music. He was somebody who was equally at ease with Mozart, with Beethoven, and also with the traditional Vaishnav Jante in India. Mahatma Gandhi was also a stickler for time. That teaches us the value and importance of time that we have. And it is no surprise that among the very few possessions that he had, a watch was one of them. For us, Gandhiji is not only a historical figure, he's not someone who belonged to a time period in the past. He's someone whose simple but universal ideas, they live with us even today. His words inspire us, they guide us to build a society where we live peacefully and in harmony with our fellow human beings and with the nature. This afternoon, I join you all in paying our homage to the great leader on his death anniversary, and we also pay our tributes to leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., like Nelson Mandela, and innumerable other leaders who shaped the history and shaped the course of the time that we know. And we must endeavor to uphold their ideas, their teachings for the peace and for the well-being of everyone. With this, I join you all in paying our respects to the great leaders and to try from our side to follow their path and work for a better world for everyone. I thank you all so much for this opportunity, and on behalf of the Consulate General of India, once again, we wish a very happy Republic Day to everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Varun. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Is he still on the line?
Yeah. So now we will have Congresswoman Grace Meng, who's on the line. We welcome her on behalf of the Hindu Temple Society of North America. We welcome you, Congresswoman Grace Meng. So U.S. Congresswoman Grace Meng is serving a 5th term in the United States House of Representatives and represents the 6th Congressional District of New York, which encompasses New York City Borough of Queens, including West, Central, and Northeast Queens. She's the first and only Asian member of Congress from New York State and the first female Congress member from Queens since former vice presidential nominee Geraldine Ferraro. Welcome, Congresswoman Grace Meng. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Congresswoman Grace Meng, proud to represent Queens in Washington, D.C., and really pleased to be here with all of you, even though it's virtually, to celebrate India's 73rd Republic Day and honor the tremendous legacies of Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and Nelson Mandela, who brought change using nonviolent protests in pursuit of justice and equality, and who continue to inspire us to do the same today. Thank you so much to Dr. Mysore and to the entire team at the Hindu Temple Society of North America. I'm so honored to have this temple within my congressional district. Thanks always for including me and so many of my local elected colleagues in today's event. Thank you also to Mr. Consul General for your encouraging words for our communities as well. You know, all too often we see in our popular culture that violence is part of change, but it is categorically wrong, and we must continue to reject it. And we must continue to try our best to embrace the legacies of Gandhi, Dr. King Jr., and Mr. Mandela, who were true pioneers in creating change through peaceful means. They knew that violence would only create more violence. They protested the injustices, hatred, racism, and discrimination through perseverance, love, and a constant belief that better days were ahead of them and their countries. And through those trials, solidarity across different communities was critical to achieving social justice. It was important then, and it is just as important today. As we continue to see and to fight the scourge of anti-Asian hate and violence here in New York City and across the country, it is truly solidarity within our own communities, but also with other communities that will create long-term change and peace. And it doesn't come easy. It is hard. But we know that scapegoating any other communities or engaging in violence will only lead us down a dark path. I encourage you all to seek the higher ground and challenge the barriers within our own communities and across other communities that prevent equality and justice through peaceful means. I believe that together we can build a better future for all of our communities together. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope for a safer and healthier new year for all of you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Thank you very much, Congresswoman. Appreciate it. You always being with us, and we look forward to continuously interact with you. Thank you. Look forward. Okay.
Thank you. We will now be having talks on the three non-violence leaders, Mahatma Gandhi ji, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and Nelson Mandela, by the youth members coordinated by Chandrasekhar Vellur and Arun Kumar. Mahatma Gandhi ji is the father of India and led the independence movement through ahimsa, or non-violence. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was the non-violence leader from the United States who fought for the end of segregation and civil rights. Nelson Mandela was a non-violence leader from South Africa who fought for equality and freedom from racism and became the first president of South Africa. Moreover, January 30th is remembered as Sarvodaya Day, the day for universal upliftment or progress for all, the day on which Gandhiji was assassinated. These leaders have not only achieved their goals and objectives in such a way that make them great, but have also served as an inspiration to us teenagers. Their contributions to the nation or society, whether it be gaining independence or freedom, have had made an impact on us and will continue to impact us for the future generations. Let us hear about how these leaders have impacted us from the presenters.
Namaste everyone. My name is Siri Chikere and I am in 9th grade. Today I will be talking about Mahatma Gandhi. Born October 2nd, 1869 in Porbandar, India, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, well known as Mahatma Gandhi, studied law and advocated for the civil rights of Indians, both at home under British rule and in South Africa. Gandhi became a leader of India's independence movement, organizing boycotts against the British institutions in peaceful forms of civil disobedience. The title Father of the Nation given to Gandhi was not narrowly based on Gandhian style of politics that helped India gain their independence. This was based on Gandhi's vision of India, on what he taught Indians and what legacy he left behind for us to follow. 73 years after his passing away, we need to answer, is his relevance only restricted to the Indian currency, or if there is something deeper than that? On reading about him, several qualities of Gandhi immediately stood out. One of them was his sheer determination to press on with his ideas on persuading the British to quit India. In India, he was able to persuade multiple people to follow him, and as we know, he led them to freedom through nonviolence. This is a great achievement because oppressed people naturally tend to turn to violence. Mahatma Gandhi later also influenced Martin Luther King Jr. in the United States to fight for civil rights for African Americans in the South, as well as Nelson Mandela in South Africa to topple over South Africa's racist system of apartheid. Martin Luther King Jr., a pastor, strongly believed in the idea of love. He recognized this idea operating through the Gandhian method of nonviolence. This helped him realize that nonviolence could be a powerful weapon in the struggle for freedom. King was already familiar with the idea of peaceful protest. Mandela referred to Gandhi as his role model and was inspired by Gandhi to lead South Africa's journey to independence and was sometimes referred to as the Gandhi of South Africa. Gandhi's philosophy and approach left an indelible mark on Mandela, and it shaped his socio-political journey in South Africa. Several of Gandhi's teachings are relevant to the modern youth. He understood the feeling and sympathy of youth and called them as instruments of social change. He believed that only spiritual and ethical values can bring in changes to the social order. He wanted modern youth and students to become the means to form idealistic thoughts. He encouraged young minds about self-reliance as a crucial necessity to success. He was open-minded and wanted all the young people to be the same. He insisted on being tolerant of all religions, which is an important message to today's generation. Gandhi emphasized simplicity, kindness, truth, and nonviolence as his life's mantra. These are the essential things that we as students have to learn and follow from him. Moreover, he wanted the youth of today to follow moral values. His ideas and philosophy teach us a lot about his morals and principles. His simple life and sacrifice to the nation are the takeaways for today's youth. He wished Indian youth to get inspiration and follow his ideals to lead a peaceful India. Recently, there has been civil unrest such as the BLM movement. Those who were involved in the movement could have addressed the matter the community was facing using something on the lines of satyagraha and nonviolence as a tool. One of the multiple endearing qualities of Mahatma Gandhi is self-reliance, as well as self-sufficiency. Ever since COVID-19 struck in 2020, each country has been dependent on one another for supplies. If each country happened to produce their own supplies, it would have eased the situation a bit. I believe people were inspired to follow Gandhi because he never claimed to be a god or a superhuman. He admitted his mistakes and never blamed anyone. He was just another simple human being, and his methods could be easily understood by both the educated and the poor. His humility and depth of understanding in the simplest of actions has made him the Mahatma, or great soul. Gandhi has shown us how to live by setting an example. He was an ordinary man with an extraordinary will to live his life. What he preached, he first practiced. Seek the truth, and it will set you free. This was the principle of Gandhi. The reason why people followed him is because each and every action of his was rational and beneficial to the common man. Today, not only we Indians, but the whole world tries to follow his philosophy in order to make the world a better place.
Thank you, Siri. We will now be moving on to a talk on Martin Luther King Jr.
Namaste. My name is Asmita Saha, and I'm in 9th grade. Today, I will be speaking on Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 17, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. A civil rights legend, Dr. King fought for racial justice through peaceful protest. Through his leadership, the civil rights movement erupted into the mainstream in the United States and opened doors to schooling and employment for people of all races. Dr. King experienced prejudice from the time he was very young, which eventually inspired him to dedicate his life to achieving equality and justice for Americans of all races. A Baptist minister by age 19, he became a civil rights leader, promoting nonviolent activities to achieve equal rights. He was able to motivate local and government lawyers to end racial discrimination and create economic justice for poor Americans in all aspects of their lives. King believed that peaceful refusal to obey unjust law was the best way to bring about social change. He often referred to Mahatma Gandhi as the inspiration for his nonviolent protests. Gandhi referred to his form of nonviolence as satyagraha, meaning truth force or love force, which Dr. King connected to civil disobedience and the Christian doctrine of love your enemies and pray for those who persecuted you. In King's eyes, nonviolence was an expression of love, reaching and convincing people to join your cause. Martin Luther King once said, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" He worked hard to bring greater equality to America and ensure civil rights for all people, regardless of race. He stood as a pillar of hope, grace, and spirituality. King single-handedly moved the needle of the civil rights movement. Advocating for respect, dignity, freedom, and equality, he stood calmly in the face of intense violence, proving that love and respect could conquer all. People paid attention to Martin Luther King because of his role in the civil rights movement. He fought for equality, justice, and human rights. He was invariable in his message, lived the message that he preached, and was prepared to sacrifice for the cause. MLK and his followers were able to initiate social change that were over a century overdue. He was able to draw hundreds of thousands of people to his speeches, and was a leader who was passionate about his message. King's well-formulated ideas, courage, poise, and eloquence helped him become a prominent leader. A spokesman for unity, brotherhood, and peace, at the same time, he advocated for justice and equality, all without violence. Martin Luther King Jr. showed us that dreams have tremendous power. Recognized for his valiant work in the civil rights movement, King proved that one can demonstrate an idea or opinion with tact and without violence. He advocated for education, remaining committed, and societal duty to help those around you. Knowing that you will face obstacles and blowback, you will work to inspire others. That is the message of Martin Luther King Jr. His speeches, statements, and actions all convinced legislative leaders to work for equal rights. Even as he received pushback, his message and method of nonviolence and satyagraha brought about a revolutionary-like change. Thank you to the Hindu Temple Society for the opportunity to speak on such an amazing leader. Namaste.
Thank you, Asmita. We'll be now moving on to a talk on Nelson Mandela.
Namaste.
Nelson Mandela, his impact on our society today. Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again, famously said Nelson Mandela. Namaste. My name is Kavya Baha, and it is my privilege and honor to be speaking about Nelson Mandela today. Nelson Mandela spent his entire life fighting for equality and justice, especially for oppressed South Africans. The world we see today is the result of a lifetime of work from Nelson Mandela and people like him. Mandela is most famous for his fight against the apartheid, a system of institutionalized racial segregation that existed in South Africa, wherein the minority of white people ruled over the Black people, denying them basic rights. He fought to give Black South Africans the opportunity and the voice they deserve, even though he was imprisoned for 27 years. Even without freedom of his own, he still wanted to fight for the freedom of others. While in prison, he wrote about politics and what was going on and how he wanted to change it. He managed to smuggle some of his writings out, but they were soon found and he lost his study rights for 4 years. He fought strongly for their voting rights, and in an interview in 1961 he said, "The Africans want the franchise, the base of the one man, one vote. They want political independence." Years later, his efforts worked, as 9 in 10 South Africans voted in 1994, and he was elected as president, the first Black president of South Africa. After becoming president, he could have easily just stopped fighting, as he was finally in a better position. But he didn't. Becoming president didn't stop nor slow down his fight and his passion to achieve his dream, a world where everyone is treated equally, no matter their race nor sex. As he said best, "For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." In the beginning of his presidency, he started expanding his fight. He wanted to make sure that women weren't discriminated against. He said, "It is vitally important that all structures of government, including the president himself, should understand this fully, that freedom cannot be achieved unless women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression." At the beginning of his presidency, only 2.7% of South Africa's parliament was women. By 2013, that number increased to 44%. He didn't stop there, for he realized there is always someone or something in need of help. After his presidency, he fought to bring awareness to AIDS. His fight wasn't perfect though, as during his presidency he didn't acknowledge the AIDS crisis. Later on though, he learned how bad it really was, and decided that it is never too late to help. He launched the 46664 initiative, which was a concert series that brought awareness to AIDS, raised money for research, and was broadcast to over 2 million viewers. He's an example of how people can change and how actions truly do speak louder than words. Even after his death in 2013, his work is still not done. Since 2014, only 60% of South Africans have voted. Women's rights and their choice is being taken away. Millions upon millions of people are still getting AIDS, and there is still no cure. Nelson Mandela fought and had to fight so much to do what he did, but never did he fight with violence, using ahimsa and following the lead of Mahatma Gandhi, who he described as his role model when he received his Nobel Peace Prize. Around the world, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, what they did was hard. It takes time. It takes more than a single president. It takes more than a single individual, Obama said. Gandhiji, Martin Luther King Jr., and Nelson Mandela did all they could to help make this world a better place, but it's up to us now to continue their work. They were all great leaders and teachers who taught us many valuable lessons on how to make this world a better place for us and the generations after us. We can follow their lead to fight without fighting, to change without hurting, to continue on without stopping, without giving up. The world is always changing and will continue to change, but how it changes is up to us. As Nelson Mandela once said, as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others the permission to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Siri, Asmita, and Kavya for those presentations. Next, Srividya Iyer will be introducing the music.
Thank you, Vigneshwari. We now have a music piece by Jonitha John and Kabilan Jagannathan. Jonitha John will be on vocal, and she's been learning and performing Carnatic music since the age of 4 under the tutelage of Srimati Savitri Ramanan. She has performed as Lincoln Center and Carnegie Hall and was named an all-state vocalist in her high school years. In college, she was a soprano in a chamber music ensemble and a vocalist in a jazz ensemble affiliated with jazz at Lincoln Center. And she holds honors degrees in music and political science. A graduate of Yale Law School, Jonatha is an attorney serving the New York City's council. Today, she'll be accompanied by Kabilan Jagannathan, who is learning Mridangam and Kanjira under the guidance of Guru Sri A.R. Balaskandar. Under his Guru's guidance, Kabilan has been performing on both Mridangam and Kanjira in many cultural programs, such as Shrutiraya Balashruti and our own temple. He regularly accompanies many young upcoming artists and various leading Carnatic artists, such as his vocal guru, Srimati Savitri Ramanan, along with Aparna Balaji, Flute Raman, and other Chinmaya sisters, just to name a few. Today, you play the Mridangam along with Jonathan John.
Sri Mahaganapatim Bhaje, Sri Mahaganapatim Bhaje, Sri Mahaganapatim Bhaje, Shivatmajam Shanmukha Grajam Sri Mahaganapatim Bhaje, Shivatmajam Shanmukha Grajam Sri Mahaganapatim Bhaje. Srita Jana Sevita, Srita Jana Sevita, Srita Jana Sevita, Vignanashaka, Srita Jana Sevita, Vignanashaka, Shigravana Prasadadayakam, Srita Jana Sevita, Vignanashaka, Shigravana Prasadadayakam, Sadayam Kapila Muni Varadayakam, Gurudeva Shaktam, Sadayam Kapila Muni Varadayakam, Gurudeva Shaktam, Heram Tamsa, Sani Padani Pama Paga Marisari, Sani Risa, Rima Padisa, Sani Padani Pama Paga Marisari, Sani Risa, Rima Padisani Sani, Marisani Risani, Sada Risa, Tinisada Pama Paga Maparisri, Mahaganapatim Bhaje, Shivatmajam Shanmukha Grajam Sri Mahaganapatim Bhaje. ज्ञानमुद्रालङ्कृतं मूलाधारनिवासिनौ श्रीमहागणपतिं भजे, ज्ञानमुद्रालङ्कृतं मूलाधारनिवासिनौ श्रीमहागणपतिं भजे, गजारण्यवासिनं ज्योतिर्मयम् उपनिषत्सारम्, गजारण्यवासिनं ज्योतिर्मयम् उपनिषत्सारं, पञ्चभूतात्मकं सिन्दूरप्रियं पञ्चमातङ्गमुखं श्रीमहागणपतिं भजे, कामेश नयनाह्लादकम् नयनाह्लादकं नागलिङ्गवरपुत्रं, कामेशनयनाह्लादकं नागलिङ्गवरपुत्रं, श्रीविद्याक्षिप्रभानन्द योगेन्द्रवन्दितो सा सनि पदनि पम पग मरिसरि सनि रि स रि म परि सा सनि पदनि पम पग मरिसरि सनि रि स रि म परि सनि सरि मरि सनि रि सनि सदनि स नि सद पम पग म परि श्री महागणपतिं भजे, शिवात्मजं षण्मुखा ग्रजौ श्री महागणपतिं भजे। அம்பதேவி நீயே துணை அம்பதேவி நீயே துணை தென் மதுரை வாழின லோச்சனி தேவி நீயே துணை தென் மதுரை வாழ்மீன லோச்சனி தேவி நீயே துணை தென் மதுரை வாழ்மீன லோச்சனி தேவி தேவாதி தேவன் சுந்தரேஷன் தேவாதி தேவன் சுந்தரேஷன் சித்தம் கவர் புவன சுந்தரி தேவாதி தேவன் சுந்தரேஷன் சித்தம் கவர் புவன சுந்தரி அம்பதேவி நீயே துணை தென் மதுரை வாழின லோச்சனி தேவி மலயத்வஜன்மாதவமே மலயத்வஜன்மாதவமே காஞ்சனமாலை புதல்வி மகாராணி மலயத்வஜன் மாதவமே காஞ்சனமாலை புதல்வி மகாராணி அலைமகள் கலைமகள் ஆ ஆ ஆ அலைமகள் கலைமகள் சனித பத அலைமகள் கலைமகள் கரி சனி சரி சனி சனி பதனி ஹலே மகள் கலை மகள் நீ ததனி தத பம பத பம பதனி தத பம கரி சரி கம பதனி சரி சனி தனி சரி சனி பதனி ஹலே மகள் கலை மகள் ரிகரி ரி 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 கரி கரி ரி 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 கரி சரி க க க கரி சனி சரி ச சனி நித தப மம மக கரி ரி ச சரி க ம பத நி சரி ரி சனி த நி சரி க ம ப ம கரி சனி சரி சனி சனி த பத ரி க ம பத நி கரி ச ரி சனி சனி த கரி சனி த ரி சனி த ப சனி த பத ரி சனி சனி த நி த ப ரி சனி த நி சனி த பத நி த ப ம ப க ம ப ம பத பத நி கரி சனி த ரி சனி த ப சனி பத நி ஹலே மகள் கலை மகள் பணிகீர் வாணி அமுதனய இனிய முத்தமிழ் வளர்த்த அலை மகள் கலை மகள் பணிகீர் வாணி அமுதனய இனிய முத்தமிழ் வளர்த்த தேவி நீயே துணை தென் மதுரை வாழின லோச்சனி தேவி ஆ मधुरै वाणीन लोचनी देवी बारो कृष्णैया बारो कृष्णैया बारो कृष्णैया निन्न ಭಕ್ತರ ಮನೆಗೀಗ ರಂಗಯ್ಯ ಬಾರೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯ ನಿನ್ನ ಭಕ್ತರ ಮನೆಗೀಗ ರಂಗಯ್ಯ ಬಾರೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯ ಬಾರೋ ನಿನ ಮುಖ ತೋರೋ ಬಾರೋ ನಿನ ಮುಖ ತೋರೋ ಬಾರೋ ನಿನ ಮುಖ ತೋರೋ ನಿನ ಸರಿಯಾರೋ ಜಗದರ ನೇರನೆ ಬಾರೋ ನಿನ ಮುಖ ತೋರೋ ನಿನ ಸರಿಯಾರೋ ಜಗದರ ನೇರನೆ ಬಾರೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯ ನಿನ್ನ ಭಕ್ತರ ಮನೆಗೀಗ ರಂಗಯ್ಯ ಬಾರೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯ ಅಂಧಿಗೆ ಪಾಡಗವು ಅಂಧಿಗೆ ಪಾಡಗವು ಕಾಲಂದಿಗೆ ಗಿರಿಗೆ ಜೇ ಅಂಧಿಗೆ ಪಾಡಗವು ಕಾಲಂದಿಗೆ ಗಿರಿಗೆ ಜೇ ದಿಂದಿಮಿ ದಿಮಿ 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 ಹಣುತ್ತಾ ಅಂದಿಗೆ ಪಾಡಗವು ಕಾಲಂದಿಗೆ ಗಿರಿಗೆ ಜೇ ದಿಂದಿಮಿ ದಿಮಿ 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 ಹಣುತ್ತಾ ನಿನ್ನ ಭಕ್ತರ ಮನೆಗೀಗ ರಂಗಯ್ಯ ಬಾರೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯ
Before we continue with our music session, we would like to invite Sibbu Nair, who is the Director of Asian American Affairs at the New York Governor's Office. Sibbu has been an Indian American political activist and community organizer and has been appointed as the Deputy Director of the Asian American Affairs for the New York State by Governor Kathy Hochul. Welcome, Sibbu. can go ahead. Hello, Subbu, you can continue. Welcome.
Do you call my name? I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
couldn't.
yeah, you can go ahead.
Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity. My name is Sibu Nair. I'm the Deputy Director of Asian American Affairs for New York State Governor Kathy Hochul. A few days ago, I had an opportunity to visit the temple and meet with Umaji and Raviji and other administrators. So it was a great honor. And this special occasion, temple took the lead to remember these three legends, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and Nelson Mandela. All three of them stood for the nonviolence and equality for those who were in need. Especially today, being Gandhi's death anniversary, it's an important day that the temple is recognizing all these individuals. And also a few days ago, we had the India's Republic Day. So I really appreciate on behalf of Governor's Office this opportunity, and also Hindu Temple in Flushing to the lead to memorize these three individuals. And we look forward to working with the temple in future initiatives. Thank you.
Srividya, are you here? Can you hear me? Sibuji, can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me. Okay, good. All right. Okay. All right. Srividya? What happened to her? Okay. All right.
Doctor, go ahead and you can thank him, and then we'll continue with the program.
Thank him. I thanked him already. And as he mentioned, we had the opportunity, a real good opportunity to meet with and explain what the activities of the temple are and what we plan to do. And we are extremely pleased that the governor's office will be taking some initiatives to broaden all these facts for the Hindu community. And Mr. Sibu Nair will definitely work with us. And we look forward to this collaboration for many months and years to come. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Subbu. Thank you, Doctor. We now continue with our music session before we conclude the program with a final vote of thanks.
Kankana Karatalli ವಾಸ ಉಡುಪಿನಿ ನೆಲೆಯಾದಿ ಕೇಶವನೇ ವಾಸ ಉಡುಪಿನಿ ನೆಲೆಯಾದಿ ಕೇಶವನೇ ದಾಸ ನಿನ ಪದ 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 ದಾಸ ದಾಸ ನಿನ ಪದ నిన పద దాస సలహలు బారయ్య బారో కృష్ణయ్య నిన్న ಭಕ್ತರ ಮನೆಗೀಗ ರಂಗಯ್ಯ ಬಾರೋ ಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯ जमुना किनारे प्यारे कदम तरे मोहन बांसुरी बजावे बांसुरी बजावे जमुना किनारे प्यारे कदम तरे मोहन बांसुरी बजावे बांसुरी बजावे सखी कुंज भवन में कदम्ब तरे मोहन बांसुरी बजावे बांसुरी बजावे सखी कुंज भवन में कदम्ब तरे मोहन बांसुरी बजावे बांसुरी बजावे मोर पिंच गले माला मोर पिंच गले माला मकराकृत कुंडल मोर पिंच गले माला मकराकृत कुंडल मकुटादिक भूषण मकुटादिक भूषण शोभा देत तन मन में बांसुरी बजावे बांसुरी बजावे पदुमनाभ दीन बंधु पदुमनाभ दीन बंधु मोरे ताप हारो पद्मनाभ दीन बंधु मोरे ताप हारो प्रभु गोपीनाथ गिरिधारी प्रभु गोपीनाथ गिरिधारी प्रभु गोपीनाथ गिरिधारी राजो मेरो मन में बांसुरी बजावे बांसुरी बजावे प्रभु गोपीनाथ गिरिधारी राजो मेरो मन में बांसुरी बजावे बांसुरी बजावे सखी कुंज भवन में कदम्ब तरे मोहन बांसुरी बजावे बांसुरी बजावे जमुना किनारे प्यारे कदम्ब तरे मोहन बांसुरी बजावे बांसुरी बजावे वामे भूमिसुता पुरश्च हनुमान् पश्चात् सुमित्रासुत शत्रुघ्नो भरतश्च पार्श्वदलयोः वाय्वादिकोणेषु च सुग्रीवश्च विभीषणश्च युवराट् तारासुतो जाम्बवान् मध्ये नील सरोज कोमलरुचिं रामं भजे रामं भजे श्यामलं रामं भजे श्यामलं रामं भजे श्यामलं राम 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 रामायणीरो राम 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 रामायणीरो सीता राम 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 रामायणीरो सीता राम 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 रामायणीरो ನೇಮದಿಲ್ದ ಭಜಿಸುವವರ ನೇಮದಿಲ್ದ ಭಜಿಸುವವರ ಕಾಮಿದಗಳ ಕೊಡುವ ನಾಮ ನೇಮದಿಲ್ದ ಭಜಿಸುವವರ ಕಾಮಿದಗಳ ಕೊಡುವ ನಾಮ ನೇಮದಿಲ್ದ ಭಜಿಸುವವರ ಕಾಮಿದಗಳ ಕೊಡುವ ನಾಮ ರಾಮ 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 ಎಣೀರೋ ಕಲ್ಲಿನಂತೆ ಇರುವ ಜೀವ ಕಲ್ಲಿನಂತೆ ಇರುವ ಜೀವ ನಿಲ್ಲದಂತೆ ಮರಣವ್ಯಾಲೆ ಕಲ್ಲಿನಂತೆ ಇರುವ ಜೀವ ನಿಲ್ಲದಂತೆ ಮರಣವ್ಯಾಲೆ ಹುಲ್ಲನಾವ ಕೃಷ್ಣನೆಂಬೋ ಹುಲ್ಲನಾವ ಕೃಷ್ಣನೆಂಬೋ ಸೊಲ್ಲು ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಒದಗದೋ ಹುಲ್ಲನಾವ ಕೃಷ್ಣನೆಂಬೋ ಸೊಲ್ಲು ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಒದಗದೋ ರಾಮ 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 ಎಣೀರೋ ಸೀತಾ ರಾಮ 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 ಎಣೀರೋ ಓ ಇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟ ಉಂಟು ಇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟ ಉಂಟು ಪರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಖ ಉಂಟು ಇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟ ಉಂಟು ಪರದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಖ ಉಂಟು ವರಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ವರಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಒದಗದೋ ವರಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಒದಗದೋ ರಾಮ 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 ಎಣೀರೋ ಸೀತಾ ರಾಮ 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 ಎಣೀರೋ ಓ गीत धुन कीत कधीम नाद्र कीट तोम नाच रही गोरी ताम दिताम ते तते कीट तक गीत धुन कीत कधीम नाद्र कीट तोम नाच रही गोरी ताम दिताम ते तते कीट तक गीत धुन कीत भाज पायल कहो भाज पायल कहो झनन झनन भाज पायल कहो झनन झनन भाज पायल कहो झनन झनन ननन ननन तोम झनन झनन ननन ननन तोम झनन झनन ननन ननन गीत धुन गीत कधीम नाद्र गीत तोम नाच रही गोरी ताम दिताम ते तते कीट तक गीत धुन गीत तान गावे तकत ते तते 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 तान गा tanana dhim takita takadim dhim takita takadim dhim takita takadim hadato hadageet dhun gita kadim nadr kitatom naach rahi gori tam ditam te tate kita takageet dhun gita kadim. मधुमनाभ तुम्हारी लीला क्या कहूँ मैं सावरो मधुमनाभ तुम्हारी लीला क्या कहूँ मैं सावरो ताप संकट शरण आयो शोक हमारो तुम हरो ताप संकट चरण आयो शोक हमारो तुम हरो तधीम तधीम थिरना उदनि दधानि धानि तधीम तधीम थिरना तधीम तधीम थिरना उदनि दधानि धानि तधीम तधीम थिरना तादित्तों तगणकतरि तधार तरतानि धीम अलरि कलरि ततर तां तानि ततर मां पाहि तकिट तां तानि धीं 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 तानि अलरि तां 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 तकतनि अलरि तों 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 तकति कुतनि अलरि गीत धुन गीत कधीं नाद्र कीट तों नाच रही घोरी तां दितां ते तते किट तक गीत धुन गीत कधीं धुन गीत कधीं धीं धुन गीत
Thank you. I would like to thank Navjanita and Kabilan for their splendid performance and for being part of our program today. I turn it over to Vigneshwari now to give the final vote of thanks for today's program.
Before we conclude our program, on behalf of the temple, I would like to thank the dignitaries for taking time to participate in our program today. I would also like to thank Jonita John and Kabilan Jagannathan for their splendid performance, each of the presenters, their teachers and coordinators, and our audience on YouTube and Facebook. Please join all our future events and continue to support the temple. In terms of upcoming events, the temple will have a virtual health and wellness session on February 5th. For additional details on the upcoming programs and the current temple timings, please visit the temple website. Thank you all. Namaste.